Welcome back, everyone, to OUBreakdown.com. Now, it was not a very fun game to watch, but don't worry, these plays are all fun to watch. That's because they all work. All but just like one or maybe two, and that's because I'm going to show you every single play we ran in this personnel grouping. In other words, 2 fullbacks, 2 wide receivers, and 1 running back. Oftentimes in the diamond formation, but lined up in a couple of different formations with this personnel grouping as well. Now, other than maybe 1 or 2 plays in the game with this personnel, it almost always worked. And therein lies the issue. It's the only thing that was working for us in the game, so why did we get away from it? Why didn't we run this package almost exclusively the entire second half? In fact, there's a point in the third quarter, a very important pivot point, about 8 minutes left, that I believe changed the game and is the reason why we lost. And I'll get more into that in a second. And I'll just go through these in order. This is the diamond formation. This is Millard, and he's going to get the ball. And you're going to see the fullback, the tailback are both going to come arc out here and block the 2 most outside linebackers / strong safety. And the line is going to do a very curious thing in that they're not going to block the defensive end on this play. We run this play a few times in the game. And the guard is going to pull and try to block the defensive end. Well, the defensive end basically just takes himself out of the play because, as you'll see here, there's just no way he can make that block because Miller's all the way out there. So if he's coming to the outside to try to tackle him, then there's no way he can make that block. So I'm not exactly sure what they're trying to accomplish with that blocking. It's curious. And if you're going to just let the defensive end take himself out of the play, you'd think that the tackle would want to try to get outside and take an outside release, and that would make his block on the middle linebacker easier. So he actually allows the linebacker to get past him, and that's going to happen on a quick hitting outside play. You think he would go outside, and that would force the defensive end to come in, therefore taking himself out of the play. So it's a curious blocking scheme, but it works every time we run it. See, here's the safety, ends up having to come make the play, but Miller just jumps right over him. Now, it looks like there's only really 2 plays in the game plan for this week from the diamond formation, both of which are new. And that may have played a part in why we didn't run this more, but that doesn't make a lot of sense why you'd only really have 2 plays in there against Texas in the game plan, because that's their weakness, it's our strength. It just makes sense. So even if you didn't, we've run from this formation earlier this year. We have several plays in the playbook. You think at halftime at least you'd say, hey, this is what's working. Remember this in this play that we've run so far. This is how we want to draw it up against their defense, if you want to specify exactly how you want to block it. But there's just no excuse for not having some of that stuff in the game plan. Okay, this is the second play in the game plan, and it's an unusual one. The offensive line, they're just base blocking. They're just pretty much going to block straight ahead. But the fullbacks are going to block different holes, essentially. The fullback to this side is going to either try to block the linebacker, or because looks like the receiver is coming in to block the strong safety because he's up here, Millard actually is going to go on the outside. And then the other fullback, Ripkowski, is going to come up the hole and block the middle linebacker. And it looks like the running back has a choice to either go outside here and follow Millard, or he can follow the other fullback by cutting it up into this hole. Now, this is Damian Williams, so he's not known for making the best decisions. But in this case, clearly he chose incorrectly. He should have gone to the outside because that's where we have an extra blocker. You can see all these blockers here are accounted for, and then Millard is free, and he's coming on the outside, which if he keeps going to the outside quickly, he would be able to turn the corner there, and then Millard could come up and block the bailing corner here and have a big play. But instead he cuts it up into this hole here where they have an unblocked player. Now, luckily, he's able to kind of make a move, so that he can hit him squarely and he's able to still get 4 yards on the play. Okay, we're going to run the outside play again from the diamond formation, this time to the other side because Millard's lined up over here this time. And again, we're going to leave the defensive end unblocked, and the right guard this time is going to pull and just kind of dive at his feet. I'm assuming that they just don't want the defensive end coming straight upfield and getting Millard before he's able to get outside the box, because that's not going to have any effect at all if he tries to follow the play and string out, which he never does. So I guess that's just what they're thinking. Maybe he's just not fast enough. Now the player who makes the tackle here is the middle linebacker, and he makes the tackle because our left tackle, Thompson, is going to block inside first and then come off and try to block him. Now that works when you're drawing it up, but if he's going to be flowing to the ball, then you're going to be blocking inside out every time, so you might as well not even be blocking. It just doesn't do any good. If you're going to leave the defensive end unblocked, why not just have the tackle just kind of go straight upfield and try to block him where he's going to be? He has more of a chance of getting a hand on him. I just don't see there's much of a need for him to try to block inside whenever the tackle lines up on the guard almost every time. So he is able to make the tackle, but he's still able to get 4 yards before he gets him. Now it's hard to tell from the picture here, but there actually is a receiver down here making this an unbalanced formation. In other words, the tackle is uncovered on this side, and you have 2 people on the line over here. Ripkowski is lined up as the tight end with Millard, the fullback, behind him, and we're going to run the outside zone run to the strong side. Now, one of the reasons why the 2 fullback package was so successful in this game is because at the point of attack, you have the 2 fullbacks blocking instead of one of the offensive linemen blocking. And that makes a difference because the offensive linemen kind of stalemated against the defensive line. And, you know, you can blame who you want for that, but they were both playing hard. But we won some, they lost some, but there wasn't a whole lot of push from either side. Whereas with the 2 fullbacks, they would almost always win their battles against the linebackers. And you can see here, he's going to, and by the way, there's glitches in this footage, and I apologize for that. That's from there's a problem with the cable during the broadcast, so I can't really do anything about that. But anyway, you'll see he's going to, this is Ford, and he's going to make a really good run and get tackled by the safety, which is what you want because the safety has to come up and get him. But he ends up getting a first down. And you can see the blocks by the 2 fullbacks right here. He just pushes them back, and they win their battle very easily. Now you should recognize this formation we've run quite a bit this year. And every time we've run it, we've either run straight ahead or most of the time we run the outside zone run to the strong side, but we've never run it to the weak side, so I guess they're trying to catch them off guard with this because we're going to run basically the same play as the outside run from the diamond formation where Millard's going to get the ball and the fullback and the running back are going to block. But this time, instead of having the guard block the defensive end, who again is going to be unblocked by the line, they're going to have the fullback block him instead. Now, the reason why it doesn't go for more yards is the left tackle comes in and blocks the backside linebacker. Now, I've mentioned this several times over this year that he's done this, like once a game. It seems like he is supposed to block the middle linebacker, but he blocks the backside linebacker instead. Because he keeps doing it, makes me think maybe that's the design, which doesn't make any sense because they're going to leave the middle linebacker unblocked, and he's going to make the play. Well, if you're going to have to leave one of these 2 linebackers unblocked, wouldn't you want to block the middle linebacker and leave the backside linebacker because he has further to go? Now, you can make the argument that the middle linebacker will be slower, but he always ends up being there to make the play anyway, so that doesn't make sense. Plus, if you're blocking the middle linebacker, the backside linebacker would have to go around that block, thereby actually slowing him down and keeping him from running straight to where the ball is. But here I'll show you. Here's the middle linebacker here, and see he's going to force Millard to cut back, and going to make him go down, but still he's able to get about 5 yards. Okay, same play from the diamond formation again this time, but the defensive end is actually going to be able to make the play. You can see kind of more what the block, I guess, is supposed to be, because he is able to hold him up just for a second, so he's late getting to make the tackle. He does make the tackle, but still we're able to get to the 2-yard line and get a first down. Now we go up tempo here, and I have absolutely no idea what Texas is doing, because we are lined up with both fullbacks here on the left side, and they are just clumped here on the weak side, and I have absolutely no idea. Look at all those players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players, which is normally what you'd put in the box. They're put on one side of center. And it's not like they're, moving over to get into place. They're actually look like they are supposed to be there. So I have no idea what to do. Well, we just run to that side, and I mean, there's just no one over there. Look how easy that is. I mean, I'm just almost speechless. I have no idea what happened there. Now, I was fully expecting us to come out the second half and get back in it with the new 2 fullback package that was working, since we saw how well it worked. And I was really disheartened on the first play of the opening drive. We didn't go into that formation, but then on second down we went right back to the diamond formation, and then used this package quite a bit in this first drive, and I was very glad to see that. You'll see here, this is the other play that I told you about. The fullbacks are going to lead block to each side, and the running back is going to choose which hole he wants to do. Now, before, we had the numbers advantage to this side, and they had the numbers advantage to this side. This time it's switched. We have the numbers advantage to this side, so it makes a good read, and Ford is able to get the first down and more. Okay, now we're going to run the same play again. This time we have the numbers advantage on the right side, just like we did the first time we ran it. Unfortunately, Ford is not able to get to the outside because both the right guard and the right tackle are going to get beat to the outside by the defensive lineman, so he's going to have to cut back inside, where Millard is going to block the linebacker who's shooting this gap. But unfortunately here there's a glitch here, and I apologize for that. As you can see here, the guard and the tackle are both beat by the defensive lineman. So you see he can't get to the outside. He's forced to cut it up where they have the numbers, and you can see this player who would normally be blocked by the fullback is unblocked because the fullback, he's having to block the guys that have come loose. And also Millard, he's going to block number 33, the linebacker who comes in the hole, but he's going to cut block him, which I don't like, because if you need to be clearing out a hole, if you're lead blocking like that, you need to push him out of the hole, because otherwise he just stands up and just makes a tackle, which is exactly what he does. Fortunately, Ford is powerful enough that he's able to fall forward for 3 yards and keep us somewhat on schedule. Now, it's obvious by this play call that the reason why we ran those 2 plays back-to-back is because we're setting up this play-action pass. See, this is going to look like the same exact play, except, you see the fullbacks are going to come up just like they're blocking the linebackers, but Millard, instead of blocking the linebacker, is going to avoid him and come upfield, and Bell is going to hit him with the pass right before he gets to the safety. So you can see here he goes, and see, instead of blocking, he's going to go outside, or just keep going rather, and then get the pass right. See how deep the safety is, and also the corner here sees that it's just a play action pass, and so while he's coming up, he's going to backpedal, and Bell probably could have passed to him. He was open, but the safety is coming to help him, and Bell does a smart thing and hits him for a huge gain, and allows us to get deep inside their territory. Okay, we're going to be in the overload formation here, and we're going to run it to the weak side, which is a questionable decision, but it actually should have worked. We actually kind of had numbers. The reason it doesn't is because, again, both the right guard and the right tackle are going to get beat. And for the second play in a row, and the fullback here, instead of blocking the linebacker, he's having to help out on the defensive tackle who's free. So then the linebacker and the defensive end are able to make the tackle. Now before, even out of this package when plays didn't quite work well, we were still able to get at least 3 yards. This is the one time that we weren't. We were only able to get 1 yard. Now this may have been the play that doomed us because that put us. We didn't do it on first down. This was second down, so it put us in third and long, and we ended up kicking a field goal. Right after that, when we got the ball back, this is that pivotal point that I referred to earlier at about 8 minutes in the third quarter, where we, instead of coming out in the 2 fullback package, and if you were anything like me, when they came out, you were screaming like, "What are you doing?" They came out in their 3 and 4 receiver package and went 3 and out, of course, like we have the rest of the game when we've done that, and ended up punting the ball and had to punt it as deep as we could. Well, what happened? You remember? They returned that punt for a touchdown. Well, that changed everything. So instead of pounding the ball and at least getting to the 50-yard line, if we had to punt, we could have punted into the end zone, or at least punted it high so that they weren't able to get a good return, and we're still in the game. But instead, they get a big return. We're down too far, too many points. Time was hurting us, so from that point on, we really couldn't afford to run. We had to pass the ball, so that kept us from being able to do the only thing that was working, and pretty much ruined any choice we had of winning. Now we did, late in the third quarter, we had 3rd and short and ended up going back to this package, and we got a first down out of it. And then late in the fourth quarter, we tried running it again, and that's when Ford didn't block very well, and we were able to get 2 yards out of it. But that play and this play were the only time in the game that the 2 fullback package didn't work. Some important stuff on OUBreakdown.com this week. We just did the one package that worked. What happened to our run game? What about the rest of the runs? Be sure and check that out. May not be what you think. It's kind of interesting. Breakdown of the passing game. What happened? And what happened to our defense? I'll break all that down and answer the questions I know you all have. So check that out, and hopefully next week will be a whole lot better.